everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Joelle and I am a part-time reseller on Poshmark, Instagram, and Mercari. Today we are going to have a what's sold on Poshmark video. I'm not going to go over each individual sale, but I am going to talk about my 5 best sales and my 5 worst sales of February of 2022. February was a very slow month for me as a part-time seller, and we are going to talk about a few reasons related to Poshmark or more personal why those sales were so slow. But for now, we're just going to get into my 5 best sales of February. First up, we have one of the biggest BOLO brands on Poshmark. I sold a pair of Frytyler engineer boots. I received these in my most recent ThredUp Shoe Rescue Box. I will link that in the video so that you all can see. It was a really great box and they were in pretty decent condition. They were a little bit scuffed, but I think that it kind of added to that rustic look of the boot, and I had them listed for $125. These boots had only been listed for about 2 weeks and they had 15 likes on them already. I was sending out that generic 10% off with discounted shipping offer right after a person would like it. And so finally, for a closet clear out day, I decided that instead of dropping it just 10%, I would drop the price down to $100 even. To me, it just looked better selling something for $100 rather than something like $112 when it's only 10% off. Maybe that's just a little theory that I have, but it ended up being successful because somebody purchased those Fry boots about 10 minutes after I dropped that price to $100. So after those ThredUp cost of goods of $534 and that Poshmark 20% fee, I made a profit of $74.66. So just off of one pair of shoes from that 15 pair of shoe ThredUp rescue box, I almost made my money back because it cost $80 total. This next sale was something that didn't make me a huge profit, but for the item, I thought that it was a great sale. I sold this Ralph Lauren straw wristlet. So like I said, for the item, I thought that it was a good profit. I have sold a couple of wallets on Poshmark, not for a huge profit, and I think in general, that's an accessory that doesn't do the best unless it is a higher end brand like Tory Burch. But this sold within a couple of months of listing for $28. I only paid $2, and so I ended up profiting $18.90 for this little wristlet. And if you do have a lot of experience selling wallets or other accessories like that, I would love to know your secret because I do think that a lot of closets have success selling them, and I would love to know how you do it. So let me know in the comments if you do like selling wallets or other accessories. This next best sale was a JCrew collection Italian cashmere sweater vest. I sold this for $52, which ended up being way more than I was anticipating because it had a ton of likes on it. But like those Fry boots, it also had no bites on those offers. I had relisted it once and both of those listings had a ton of likes on them, like I said. And so I was getting ready to sell this sweater vest for around $20 to $25 just so I could get it out of my closet. But a new liker came around and I sent a 10% off with discounted shipping offer, and this account purchased it immediately. So I ended up profiting $34.12. Now with JCrew, again, if you have a lot of experience selling it, I would love to hear your opinion. But for my personal one and a lot of resellers that I have heard of, there's kind of a general consensus that the most profit you could get from JCrew items come from a lot of coats or jackets, along with materials like wool or cashmere. So I purchased a sweater vest because one, sweater vests are in trend right now, but also because it was 100% cashmere. All right, we are on to that 5th and final best sale of the month of February. And while this was not a huge profit for me, it was my quickest sale that I have ever gotten. So for just $16, I sold this Victoria's Secret Wear Everywhere bra. This has been in my personal closet for about 5 or 6 years, and it has been sitting in my death pile for such a long time. I was kind of sorting through my inventory, and at the bottom of a huge pile was this bra, and I figured that it's easy to photograph, and the Wear Everywhere bra for the pink line is a very common one, so I figured that I would take the 5 minutes and get it listed. It ended up being a great day to list it because around 10 minutes after listing this bra, I received a $16 offer on a $20 listing, and I accepted it immediately because my cost of goods was $0 and I always love getting a quick sale. So after that Poshmark fee, I earned a quick profit of $12.80. Now that we're done with my 5 best sales, and before we get into those worst sales of the month, I'm going to talk a little bit about why sales were so slow for me in February. I have just 3 quick things to cover, and for the first 2, I think that a lot of other resellers can relate to this. So if your sales were slow this month, just know that you were not alone. The first reason was that Poshmark algorithm update. I won't get into it because they went back to their original search default of just shared, but I will link my video about it if you are unfamiliar with the update. But this lasted about a week, I want to say, and my sales absolutely tanked. It was really frustrating to see, and it kind of led to some of these worse sales because I was sending out super drastic offers and accepting a lot of lowball offers just so I could make a little bit of profit. The second reason is that January and February are historically some of the slowest months for retail every single year. I think a lot of people are still coming off of that holiday fever where they're spending a ton of money on gifts and presents for people. And there's also a ton of sales around Black Friday and the holiday times in December. So I think that a lot of people are just trying to save up money or recover in January and February. If you had great sales for these months, I personally had a great January, but a slow February. I think that is awesome, and I will always love to hear about those sales. And I also want other resellers to know that if you had these slow months, again, you are not alone. I had a super slow month this February, and I will go over the numbers later in this video just so that I can be brutally honest about how bad these months can be for resellers. And finally, more of a personal reason why my sales are so slow is because I am moving. And actually, as I'm recording this video, I am moving tomorrow. So when it is uploaded, it will probably be my move-in day. In this past month or so, I've been focusing a lot of my time and energy into moving into this new apartment with my boyfriend. So I haven't had a ton of time to list consistently and even go out and source a ton of new inventory. So I've really just been focusing on clearing out my current stale inventory. And once I am settled into this new apartment, it will be so much easier to get back into that routine of consistently listing at least 5 items a day and hopefully more as I transition into a full-time reseller. And if you want to see more reseller content as a part-time reseller and as someone who is transitioning into a full-time reseller, go hit that subscribe button, turn those notifications on so you don't miss a video. And now we will get into those 5 worst sales of the month of February. So people define bad sales in different ways. The ways that I am defining them is dependent upon how long they have been sitting in my closet, if they were items that I shouldn't have picked up, or if they were lowball offers that I accepted just because I was so desperate to get sales with that Poshmark update. So first up, we will get into a thrifting failure that I should have never picked up, and it was this Skies Are Blue royal blue tank top. This had been listed for a very long time. I picked it up right when I started reselling, and I was about ready to just redonate it to a thrift store. For my personal Poshmark closet, tank tops do not sell very well, and so if I were to see this in a thrift store today, I would not even consider picking it up. I spent $4 for this top, which was way too much. I ended up selling it for $15, which left me with a profit of $8 total. This next sale was from a lowball offer that I accepted when I was really desperate for sales during that terrible Poshmark update, and it was a pair of Princess Polly flare lace-up pants. I originally had these listed for $40, and that was based off of suggested comps. I have heard that Princess Polly overall is a great brand to resell on Poshmark, and they have a ton of trendy items, but like I said, I was desperate for sales. So this came during my name your price sale, and the buyer offered me $8 for it, which I can't complain because I told her to name her price and she did. On any other day, I probably would have countered with a higher offer, but again, because I was so desperate and it was a sale, I ended up accepting that $8 offer. So I ended up profiting a whopping $3.05 for these pants. This next worst sale was another thrifting failure, and it was a pair of John Galt striped pants. If you don't know, John Galt is a sub-brand, I think it is technically that, of Brandy Melville, and you primarily see it in a Brandy Melville store or in a store like PacSun. I don't know about you all, but when I am shopping in a store like PacSun, they never have brands like Brandy Melville or John Galt on sale. And so when I purchased these, when I first started reselling, I thought that it would be a great brand to sell. Turns out I was wrong because I did relist these a couple of times and had no bites, no offers or anything, but a buyer finally ended up accepting a $15 offer and I profited $6.50. This next bad sale was yet another thrifting failure, and it was a pair of Tommy Bahama swimsuit bottoms. Like these previous items, this was a pair of swimsuit bottoms that was purchased when I first became a reseller. I was pretty acquainted with higher end brands in terms of retail value, but I was not too acquainted with checking comps on Poshmark, so I did not realize that Tommy Bahama is not the best brand to sell. Obviously, some categories or some materials like linen might sell a little bit better or for a little bit higher of a price, but just a regular pair of swimsuit bottoms might not sell for as much. much. They were in like new condition, so if I saw these at the bins with a very low cost of goods, I might consider picking them up. But I did pay $4 for these, which was way too much to spend on a pair of swimsuit bottoms from this brand. But after they were listed for so long, I was fairly happy that the buyer accepted a $16 offer, and I ended up profiting $6.34. All right, we are on to my final worst sale, and it was a pair of Silent D slip-on sandals. So I was not aware until I purchased these over the summer, but Silent D is an Anthropologie brand, and all across the board for different types of shoes, there are great comps for it. Because comps were great, I did pay a little bit higher than usual for these shoes. I ended up spending $7.98 on them, and I had high hopes, but they were one of those items that had a ton of likes on them, but no offers. And it got to the point where I was sending out extremely low offers for around $20 to $25. But during that name your price sale, I actually sold these shoes to a return buyer who had purchased from my closet before. And this person offered me $20. And because they had been listed for so long, I did accept it. And it was pretty frustrating because I only profited $8.02. I am also gonna go over my best bundle. And this is proof that you should hold a name your price sale if you are trying to clear out your inventory, or even if your sales are slow. So I sent out a message to a ton of likers, I think it was around 1,500, telling them that I'm trying to clear out my closet. And so if they wanted to send out some offers for some items that they really liked, they get to determine the price. So this buyer ended up bundling 5 different items. I will include screenshots, but it was a W5 blouse, an FC Barcelona t-shirt, a Nike swimsuit, a pair of leggings, the brand is Gaiam, I believe, and then a Tory sports skirt. So this buyer ended up offering me $60 for all of this. Really the only item that was harder to part with was that Tory sports skirt because it did have some pretty decent comps on it, but all the other items I was so excited to let go of. My total cost of goods for this bundle was only $6.50 because a lot of them were given to me or from my personal closet. So I ended up profiting $41.50. And the main reason why this was one of the best sales of the month for me was not so much because of the amount of money that I made, but because all of those items had been listed since June or July. I also made the sale within 30 minutes of sending that message out, so it was so nice to get that name your price sale kicked off with such a successful sale of a bunch of items. So now that we have gone over some of my best and worst sales, I'm just going to talk about my overall numbers for the month of February. So this was by no means a successful month in terms of sales numbers or my profits. However, I am happy with the actual inventory that I sold because a lot of it was stale and had been sitting in my closet since the summertime. So overall, this really just helped clear out my closet before moving, and it also has helped me kind of rejuvenate my closet and put more higher end and newer items in there. So in the month of February, before the fees and cost of goods, my gross profit was $796, and I sold 38 items total. After the fees and cost of goods, I only earned $500.99, which again is not a successful month for my profits. Obviously, it is frustrating, but this is a part of the reselling business. There are a lot of up and down months. So like I said earlier, a lot of my time has been spent preparing to move. I am moving in March 1st, and so once I am moved in and settled in, I will be excited to develop a new plan and start transitioning into becoming a full-time reseller. I would love to hear in the comments about your sales in February, whether they were slower like mine or if they were really successful. And as always, now that we are at the end of the video, thank you all for the support for my channel. I really hope you got a lot out of this video and were able to see maybe some items to stay away from or some items to be on the lookout for. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you for the next video.